Boeing 707 jetliner rolled out of the U.S. after 2 years of development. A fire broke out on the USS Bennington, costing the lives of 103 sailors. The year is 1954, and this Mercury was brand new. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that talks about cars, not the weather. Did you ever just want to know more information about cars? Like cars that nobody else really talks about? We cover the classics, vintage, some exotics. We love the orphan cars and cars that are frankly being forgotten. We talk history, design, and specs. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. 1954 Mercury was broken down into two model lines, the Custom and the Monterey. Mercury offered the Monterey as a separate series from 1952 to 1974. The Monterey was named after Monterey Bay, which is located in California. Offered in 7 generations. 1954 falls in the second generation, which had a production run from 1952 to 1954. Could be had as a 4-door sedan, 2-door hardtop, 4-door wagon, 2-door convertible. Sun Valley, which was a bubble top made of see-through plexiglass in the front half of the roof. Think early moon roof. It doesn't open. Was named after Sun Valley, Idaho, which was an option for 54 and 55 Mercuries. Ford also offered it in 54 on the Skyliner and 55 through 56 on the Crown Victoria. 1952 is the beginning design, and it's different than 1953, and the 53 is different than the 54. So all three, I guess, yeah, why not? Let's do all three in numeric order. 52 on top, 53 in the center, 54 at the bottom, starting in the front. I also think it's really cool to see the design progression through the years. Do you concur? Looking at the three, same basic shape with subtle differences. The hood scoop on the 52, it looks functional in this picture. I could be wrong. The 52 has headlight bezels of stainless. The other two are painted body color. Different bumpers on the 52 as well as the 53. Amber fog lights on the 53. The 53 has bright work under the hood, not found on the 52. The 54 non-functioning hood scoop, painted headlight bezels, different bumpers, nose crest, turn signals are rectangular on the 54 versus round on both the 52 and 53. Moving to the side profile, side trim is totally different on all three of these cars. Just look at the lack of bulge on the 52. The 53 and the 54 both have a fender bulge, a rear fender bulge that isn't found on the 52. Rocker trim and rear beltline trim on the 52. The 53 has beltline trim that runs the length of the car as well as a fender bulge. The 54 incorporates both the rocker trim, fender bulge, and beltline trim that runs the length of the car. Also look at the hubcaps. Looking at the rear, the 52 has a 3-piece rear window, whereas the 53 and the 54 have a single-piece rear window. The fenders are different. Notice the 53 and the 54 have Mercury stamped in the center of the bumper. It's also a better look at the 52 and the rear fender bulge situation or lack thereof. They each have their own rear emblems. Also take a look at the rear taillights. The 54s are so much lower than the other two, the 52 and the 53. They sort of look like Continental, which came out in 56 and 57. And maybe they use these as a starting point. I guess side-by-side comparison, they look different, but I made a comment later on when we do the walk around that I was totally getting Continental vibes from this design, but the Mercury came first. Moving inside to take a look at the dash and interior, 1952 and 53 are very similar. Different steering wheels, two-tone colors on the 53. The 54 is completely different. Out of these three, which one do you like the most? In the comment section below. Let's talk specs. 206 inches long, 74.4 inches wide, 62 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 118 inches. It weighs 3,625 pounds. Price, $2,615, which is equivalent to you spending $29,564.76 in the year 2023. Total 1954 Mercury production was 259,305 units. Total Monterey was 174,238 units. Total Sun Valley hardtop, 9,761 units. That is a car that a lot of people say that is a very rare car, but they made less convertibles in 1954 than they did Sun Valley hardtops. Convertibles, 7,293 units. Moving on to engines, only one engine on offer, 256 cubic inch displacement, Y-block V8, 4.2 liters. Let's stop right there for a second and explain what the Y-block was. Introduced in 1954, this was Ford's overhead valve V8 offering. This was the engine that was to replace the flathead V8, beating the Chevy small block to market by a whole year. The reason it was called the Y block was because of its deep skirting, which made the block resemble the letter Y, hence the name. And it was to be a more modern replacement for the flathead V8. Ford introduced the 239 Y-block V8. It was the same displacement as the outgoing flathead, but it made 20 horsepower more. And Mercury introduced their very own Y-block V8, 256 cubic inch displacement. It was available for Mercury for 1954. It could also be had in Ford F1 series trucks, as well as Mercury made trucks in Canada. It was replaced by the 292 Y-block in 1955. Side note, Lincoln had overhead valve in 1952, and they used a big block design from the get-go. The Y-block would last until about 1962, totally being phased out by 1965. The Ford FE took the Y-block's place. Let's talk specs. 256 cubic inch displacement, Y-block V8, 4.2 liters. It's good for 162 horsepower, 4,400 RPM, 238 pound-feet of torque at 2,200 RPM. Compression, 7.5 to 1, 3 main bearings. 0 to 60 when backed with a 3-speed manual transmission, 12.1 seconds. Theoretical top speed of 96 miles an hour. Average fuel consumption can be anywhere between 13 to 15 miles per gallon average. Let's talk chassis. Transmission options. You had the 3-speed manual, the Touch-O-Matic overdrive, or the Merc-O-Matic automatic. The frame was a heavy steel ladder type double channel box section side rails, 5 cross members. The convertible has an X member frame in the center with heavy duty side rails. Brakes, it used hydraulic brakes with pendant type pedal, independent mechanical brake. Steering was worm and roller type. Electric system, 6-volt. Suspension, ball joint front suspension with telescoping shock absorbers inside the coil spring itself. Semi-elliptical rear springs in the rear, C-leg rear-mounted shock absorbers. The drive was Hotchkiss with tubular propeller shaft, carrier type, axle with hyperoid gears. Options, not getting into all of the options, but here are a few that stood out. Power steering, power brakes, 4-way power seat, power windows, C-tint windows, bumper guards, full-wheel discs. All right, let's talk styling. Look at everything that is going on. Just wow. A couple episodes back, I said that the 55, 56 Mercury was my favorite Mercury. I might have to take that back. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at how this chrome just pops. It might be stainless, just pops against this color. Absolutely love this color. Look at how it's textured there. Look at how it's tiered. Look at the top of the bumper versus the bottom of the bumper. Turn signal indicators down inside here. Just look at how textured this is. Fog lights built inside the bumpers. Love how this is painted. Nice Mercury badge, big and proud there. These almost look like Dagmars. Headlights sit back inside here with a small bezel ring around. But notice the ones on the outside are painted body color. Look at this hood scoop. Looks like a fake hood scoop, non-functional. Just take a look at all those hood lines. Coming down the side, I love this spear and this medallion here. The wheels do flare. Something I forgot to point out, look at how this hood comes back. That's interesting. How it comes down off of here and it tapers back in. Look at the spotlight design. I've never seen a spotlight designed like that. Wraparound windshield, as well as look at all the chrome, stainless steel. It's got suicide wipers. Look at this right here with the fender bulge, fender skirts. This is Monterey right there. Coming back to the rear section. Now just look at these. This isn't a carbon copy, but when you see this, what do you think? I think 56, 57 Continental. It's not exact, but it definitely reminisces that car. Look at the bumpers, how they wrap around. I love that it says Mercury here in the bumper. Nice bumperettes and or overriders. That's a nice tailpipe. The rear window back here is a plexiglass or plastic rear window. Just look at this convertible top and all of the stainless trim around the windows. Coming up and getting inside, just look at all of everything that is going on. I love this door panel. Look at all of the designs. Look at how this swoops up like a boomerang and comes back down. This is the armrest door handle to pull the door shut. This is the door handle to get out. This car has power windows. All right, so these switches. So this one here controls the passenger side rear window, and just look at how that operates. That's so cool. The one next to it controls this one. The one next to it controls that one. And then the first one is the driver's one. And it's got that mirror. Just look at all the bright work. Notice how it's channeled. Coming down inside the pedal box down here. High beam switch on the floor. Brake, gas pedal. This looks like it's a vent. Handbrake. This is for the top. Just look at this interior. Just look at how massive this steering wheel is. There's tons of space underneath the steering wheel and my lap. And the only reason I show that is because if you don't fit in the car, it's not that comfortable to drive the car long distance. If you wear a size 36 pants, you'll fit in this car perfect.
On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Key/ignition. Starting with the background because there are levers in the foreground, but we will get to those. Speedometer at the top. Oil pressure, coolant temperature, odometer, gasoline gauge, amp meter. First lever is for the fan blower speed. The second lever is for temperature. Third lever is for left air vent, and the fourth lever is for right air vent. Headlights, drive modes read park, reverse, neutral, drive, low, interior lights, wiper, clock, lighter, radio with radio controls. Up above, there are sun visors, and just look at how they're two-toned to match the car and the interior, which is a really, really nice touch. It's got a rear view mirror there. Up in the middle, that is for the convertible top latch. Another rear view mirror over here. Let's talk about these seats. These seats are so plushy and so comfortable, like so plushy. And the seat profile is nice. It feels like you're sitting up above in this car. Over the hood, that's what over the hood impression looks like. This is what first person over the hood looks like. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for a reference. Here is the glove box in question. The glove box is absolutely huge. Fits in there. No problem. No problem at all. Ashtray is located right next to it. Getting in the rear, there's not enough space to get in the back of this one, but this one's got robe rails on both seats. It's got ashtrays on both seats. Look at the lights. Look at all of the convertible top workings. Coming to the under the hood section, the hood release is right in here. This one has two releases. The first one's right here. The second one is right next to it. When the hood is shut, it's right there. So battery up front here, looks 6-volt. Radiator, power steering. This one has the funkiest, and I say this every time I see a every time I see a different power brake booster, every time I see a different power brake booster, such as this one, I always comment and say, I've never seen one like that. I've never seen one designed like that. It's a single master cylinder in the front, power at the back. It looks like it runs off a vacuum from the engine. Look at all this heating stuff. On the positive side, this era could be argued the best Mercury ever. The styling is just outright gorgeous. The seats are super plushy, super comfortable. Glove box can hold the camera with ease. Easy to read gauges, awesome over the hood view. This car is absolutely amazing. Against it, the only thing that I can think of is the Y-block V8 itself. Because of the way it was designed, sometimes oil would get stuck in the galleys and it just would starve the bearings for oil, but there's an easy fix to that. Anyway, now it's time for Would You Rather. Two scenarios today. Would you rather have a 1954 Dodge Royal for $2,632, which is equivalent to $29,756.96, or a 1954 Mercury Monterey convertible for $2,615, which is equivalent to $29,564.76, or 1954 Pontiac Star Chief convertible for $2,630. That's equivalent to $29,734.35. All of these cars are ballpark. I mean, the Mercury is about $200 less than the Dodge Royal, and the Pontiac Star Chief it's right there. I mean, right there. So, and yeah, I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Moving to the second scenario, and the second scenario is a bit outside of the box. Would you rather have a 1954 Nash Rambler convertible for a whole lot less at $1,980, equivalent to $22,385.56 now, or 1954 Mercury Monterey convertible for $2,615? We've already gone through that. Or 1954 Studebaker Champion, the 6-cylinder model, hardtop Starlight Coupe for $2,233. That's equivalent to $26,376.52 now. Probably not going to do the conversion rate. I don't know. Put it in the comment section below. Do you like seeing the numbers? Do you like seeing the numbers of what it would be converted to in the would you rather segment, or just leave that out? Anyway, gonna leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. I really appreciate all of the support. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below, or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. If you don't have Facebook and would like to contact me, and get this, I read and answer all my emails, all comments, posts. I don't say that for self-worth or anything like that, but there's lots of YouTubers out there that don't answer anybody. I'm not like that. If you want to talk to me, shoot me an email. All of that will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate you guys. And until next time, toodaloo! I would definitely consider this car a 16 candle car. And a 16 candle car is one that I would purchase. But I didn't want to leave you with that. Instead, I have a clip from a gift shop from yesterday. Yesterday was our last day at the beach. So we'll be getting back to the 4:30 schedule. Thank God. So I walked into a gift shop. Look at what's behind these clothes. That's a Checker Marathon, but not just any Marathon. It's a wagon. Super rare. Inside this gift shop. This looks like a Chevy, 40 Chevy behind it. But not just the Chevy, there's a Dodge. There's an International. There's a 54 Chevy. Here's a Ford that's tucked in back here. And there's another Ford over here. It's just weird. I never saw vehicles just in a gift shop like this. There's also this little thing over here, which is really cool.